Alright, welcome back to the channel. I'm in the footwell of a TVR Cerbera. Yeah, just looking at the clutch master there. If I get someone on the other side, that doesn't actually look like it's going to be that difficult to undo. I can actually reach that without lying on my back. So what size are they? They look really small. Alright, it's all very red under here, isn't it? I painted this carpet. Anyway, what have I got? Alright. What holds this on here? Oh, that's one of those clip. Yeah, I know what that is. Oh, mate, you can see my facial expressions right now. Come on. Alright, that's not going to budge. Oh. Alright. Yeah, I think you get the picture. Alright, well, I'm going to take the master cylinder out for the clutch. Righto, here we are again, working on the clutch. My apologies, this video is going to have to be shot probably over the next few days, so hopefully I won't repeat myself too much, but here's where we are. This is the original master cylinder. This is our new Wilwood one. This is the 0.625. Now I believe this is the 0.75. Yeah, but it has a different fitting, of course. Now, part of the trouble I had with the one that was in there was the pedal went too far. So basically, yeah, it pushes the slave cylinder past the point where the seals are sealing on the shaft, and fluid blows out everywhere, and yeah, it doesn't work. So if you look closely, what I've got here, you see I've machined here a that's out of black breadboard plastic. That's just machined to go in there. So that's basically the stopper. Now what I've got here is I've got these two which are shaped like so, and then all these ones, these have got a smaller diameter hole. So what I'm hoping to do is I'll take that and I'll just cut out from the center such that I can just come along and just basically on this part of the shaft here, I can just sort of basically push that on and clip it on there. So once it's in the car, I'll have some adjustability as to, without having to take this clevis off the end, because yeah, that looks like it'll be a pain in the ass. But what I will have to watch out for is, I've had issues with this before, bleeding, well, brake cylinders on my buggy. If you don't have full motion, sometimes it doesn't bleed properly. So yeah, you never get the air out because the piston doesn't travel right to the end of its travel. Whether that will happen with this, I don't know. You'd think it wouldn't, but you never know, it might surprise me. Now if we go over to the car, have a look what's going on here. Now if you have a look, that's where the master cylinder was, and that was she's pretty tight. But you look at this line here, this line, that's a hard line that goes down. Where is it? Can you see it? Not sure if you can see in there. Alright. Yeah, it's a bit hard to see in there, but the brake lines and the clutch line comes out sort of basically just behind the front wheel. Yeah, don't know if you can see it there. Anyway, you get the idea. Yeah, they come out down there and then they snake around and it comes up here. So this is the clutch line. So it basically goes down almost to ground level, so to speak, and then comes back up on this side. Now, because this is normally sealed off, you have a big sort of disc that sits here with a big rubber disc that's so elastic into place. Because that's not there, I'm thinking, well, I can just cut this off here, get the appropriate fitting and just run it straight to there. Because this here, if I run an adapter on top of the master cylinder to adapt to this, because this doesn't fit into the Wilwood cylinder, I can't really. I got like 4 mil of movement there. Now it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be a real pig to try and get that. So I'm thinking I'll undo it at the bottom, chop the line, and head off. I've got a dentist appointment of all things today. Head off, get the appropriate fitting, and make it happen. Put this thing to bed and go for a drive, maybe. We'll see. Alright, let you know how I go. Alright, so I think I've got a solution here. Alright, so that's my master cylinder. The Wilwood master cylinder is set up for a banjo setup, although it does have a taper down in there that you can get a fitting to seal on. But the shop I happen to go to, you're saying all the fittings with that are long enough to go down in there and bottom out, they have a female taper rather than a male taper, so that won't work. But anyway, I've got what I need. There's the banjo. There's the adapter to the banjo. Now this here, I'll show you. This is all -4. Well, it's -4 line. Now the problem that I had was, if you look at my old line there, that's the one I cut off the car, and this is the line they sell. As you can see, that's the actual Teflon in the centre of it is different, and I'm just lucky the bloke sort of picked this up, because you need this the olive here to push around the outside of that Teflon, which this will do. It's going to need a bit of fiddling, but on this one, it's like, but there's no way that's going on the outside of that, even though that is a little flared out at that end. It's not happening. And then this If you look at this part of it, and that's I can't do it with one hand. I can't do it with one hand, but it's quite snug, you know, quite a snug fit. Whereas this one barely touches the sides. So what have I got myself into here? Well, I'll show you. So here's my clutch line. I'll cut that off there. I've got plenty of room, but I don't know if you can see down in there, there's a 90-degree bend with an adapter down there. Now, I didn't really want to mess with that, but when he sort of showed me the various options, I thought, well, he said, well, is there somewhere else on the line you could break it, or can you go back to the slave cylinder? I said, well, I'm not pulling the slave cylinder out, but there is that 90-degree there, and so yeah, here we are. Basically, I've got to try and get my hands in there with a couple of a 5/8 spanner and maybe a small shifter, I'm not sure, and try and split that line apart, and then yeah, make sure I do have the right fittings, then make my new line, or at least put this fitting on one end of here, slide that down in there, tighten it up, and then cut this to length, put my little 45er here with its adapter that's adapted to the whatchamacallit, the banjo, like so, and done. Alright, wish me luck. Righto, here we are back in the VMAX shed. This is where I got my little bandsaw. What I'm going to try and do is basically cut these out, cut sort of a V. Oh, you see what I mean? Basically, so I can just sort of click that onto the shaft as my spacer. Oh, it's going to go, but it's going to be very, very tight. Need to widen my V. Oh yeah, that's what I want. Wonder if I can get it off. Ah, yeah, baby. All right, do the other one like that. Anyway, you get the idea. All right, so I've got my hose done. Yeah, it's pretty tricky, but got it there in the end. But the fun isn't over yet. I should have noticed before, but these are different pitch threads. Same sort of size, but yeah, one's a fine thread, one's a coarse thread. So what I've got to do is see if I can swap the shafts around. Should be doable. Alright. I reckon that'll work. Alright, so I'll actually just put the master in the car without taking footage, but yeah, you get the gist of it. There's a see, this is leaking from here as well. Basically, yeah, you got your little disc that sits like so, that sits in there, circlip holds it in, there you go. So they just swapped straight over. So now I've got to go and sweet talk Jaguar Joe into coming over and holding one side of the master cylinder for me while I crawl into the footwell and do the bolts up. Righto, so yeah, the new master cylinder's in and things have not worked out how I would hope. I think, long story short, I think when I overextended the slave cylinder, I think I've damaged the seals. As you may be able to see, yeah, during our efforts to bleed the system, yeah, basically I just pumped a heap of brake fluid onto the floor, coming out the slave cylinder. So yeah, it's a bit disappointing. So for the time being, well, I'm not going to be going for a drive, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm going to have a look into either getting new seals or getting a new slave cylinder, or start reading through the 101 threads on piston heads about Cerbera slave cylinders. And yeah, if any of you've got any ideas on how I can save this situation, yeah, let me know. But in the meantime, I'm probably going to have a little break from the Cerbera. She's kind of been testing me a bit much. So I've got a new project coming, maybe today, tomorrow, we'll see. That'll keep me occupied till my enthusiasm for this returns. I'll probably be in a week or so. All right, thanks for watching, and see you next time.